Yeah. So this 29, 21. It's a 21 November. Deciding and protesting or demo is still going on in Libya in front of the UNHCR. The thousands of refugees, asylum seekers, and migrants are still demanding for immediate evacuations outside Libya. And because of the brutal raids that have been taken place on 1 October, as the world witness for the raid and arresting and killing of our brothers and sisters in Libya, in neighborhood which is called Gregarish. So those people, they have been in different various detention centers in Libya, like Zintan and Tajora detention center and Gashir Ben Gashir, and they have been transferred in 2019 to Zawa detention center. And also there is another detentionist. I can mention it. Its name is, or their name is, El Kumus Detention Center in Eastern Tripoli. And also there is the Sabha or Saba Detention Center. So all these refugees and asylum seekers and migrants, they were detained for so long of years. Some of them have been detained since 2017, while the evidence of the Sabrata, which cases the various of in slavery, and they have been transferred from the Sabrata, while the Ammo, maybe a lot of people, they don't know who is Ammo, but Ammo, he is the one of the leader of the militias in Tripoli, in Western Tripoli, Sabrata. It was taking place in Sabrata in 2016 and 2017. So for that time, he used all the migrants and refugees, enslaved them, and he was buying them to the Libyan farmers and to the traffickers to beat them in their own detentions, to pay for the ransom money. But plus that time when the international community and the non-organizations, they have a stand for this to end up the enslaving the migrants and refugees in Libya in Sabrata in 2017. The UNHCR have intervened and I took all those people to the different detention centers. Also, that was founded by the EU. So the EU is the one part, or is the one organizations that have been created the detention centers, the building of detention centers in Libya, and arming them and funding them to the Libyan Coast Guard and the Libyan government and the Libyan militias in order to keep all those migrants not to reach to Europe or not to enter to the sea, to stop them and to save them and take them back to the different detention centers in order where they They face persecutions and torturing and raping and killing, but nobody can be able, or the independent journalists cannot be able to enter to the different detention centers, the Malaysian detention centers, in order to cover the ongoing, that what happens to the refugees and the asylum seekers and migrants inside. So the refugees in Libya have a long time suffering and losing of lives, raping. Even there's more than thousands of the refugees, uh, they are, except like the women, they got a pregnancy from the raping, and they birth it and they have a babies and something like that. More of them they still live here in front of the UNHCR. They are demonstrating and demanding for the evacuations, immediate evacuation outside Libya to the safe lands. But until right now, today is the 53 days while we can be there and demonstrating and asking for evacuations. Even the UNHCR didn't come out to talk to us or listen to us what we want or why we came there. Absolutely, they call it 5 times to the refugees community leaders in order to hold a meeting with them to ask them what they need in the office there. But we told them clearly why we are here and what we want, because they know that while the raids have begun or taken place in Gregorish, we lost many different citizenship of our brothers, African brothers. So on a first day, on 1 October, we lost one of our brother. He was a Nigerian guy, and on the 8th October, we lost 34 of our brothers and sisters while they break down the detention center of Al Mabani in Gochal, and they made their way to the UNHCR office in Saraj CDC, because they saw that is the safe location for them, because the authorities cannot follow them to in front of the UNHCR in order to arrest them to take them back to the detentions. So on that time we lost 34 of our brothers. On the next day, that was 9 October, the Libyan authority have transferred from the Mabani detention center to Algerian detention center in the southern Libya. So he transferred 1,200 refugees, but most of them they broke down the detention center on 10 October. They were uh, there were 800 refugees. There were 800 refugees while they broke down the detention centers, and they climbed it up to the mountains, and they were directing to the Tripoli in order to come back to and join their brothers in front of the UNHCR. Many from them have been killed, shot by the militias bolt. So we lost uh, 39. We lost 39 of our brothers and sisters of our brothers in Iran. Until right now, their bodies is still on the ground. Their bodies still on the ground. And no organizations gone there to see in order to see their bodies. Is that true? Because the medias and the people they are talking that there's the 39 bodies of the refugees and migrants who have been transferred to the Garian detention center after they escaped on the 10 October, and they have been shot on the mountain top. So they are still there. But we got the pictures and the videos of those dead bodies. Okay, and until right now, there were the women's have been transferred to Zawiya detention center. This is accessed for the women. And until right now, there is about 500 women from different citizenship. So also there is our brothers and sisters have been transferred to Zara detention center. Until right now, there is a lot of people. They're still there, and even there is 800 of the Eritreans, men and women, have been transferred to Tariga Sika, where they are facing the persecutions, and there were 4 rape of Eritrean ladies and 4 killing of Eritrean refugees inside the Tariga Sika detention centers. But on the next day, when the international communities knew about that, they taken the four bodies to the morgue, the Zawiya hospital. And right now, the bodies are still there, didn't bury it. So there is a lot of crimes have been committed by the Libyan authorities in Libya since 1 October until today, 21 November. And also, when we came there on the 2 November, 2 October, and we organized it, the sighting in front of the UNHCR office, CDC, we lost two lives of our brothers. The first one, he was Amir Abakar. He's a Sudanese refugee. He has been shot by unmasked armies in front of the UNHCR for unknown reason. This was happened on 12 October. And even on 17 October, we lost our brother. He was Eritrean, minor. He was 16 years old. He had been hit by the car. So after that, we got our 3 brothers have been injured in front of the UNHCR office registration center in Saraj, the main office. One of them have been stabbed by the key on the shoulder, and others have been hit and bleeded. And even the last one from the South Sudan, he has been stabbed by the knife in front of the UNHCR CDC. And so even the various the different tortures is still going on, but we don't know where this came from, and we're still there, and we're still asking for our demandings and for the evacuations outside Libya, and we can't stop. We can't stop asking for our demandings, because this are our rights. Because when we registered from the UNCCR, it was in the November 2017. November 2017. Until right now, we are still waiting for the asylum, for our asylum, in order to get a process or to get a resettlement or evacuations. But the UNCCR is still using or ignoring us, because they doesn't want they don't want to get to access for the old files 2017 and 2018, because unfortunately they are taking the new files of the 2017, 2000